Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen.
Oh my God, we're so pro.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Hey, Shooting the Shit with
Ellen?
and Dave.
Yes, episode 9.
Episode 9, but it'll always be number 2 to us.
We have some new equipment we're using, so this episode's going to be filled with a lot of probably sound effects. Something like this.
Ooh.
Or this.
Ooh.
So, it's going to be a lot of overload today.
Yeah, we'll take a picture. We got a new soundboard. And we're officially on iTunes, everybody.
Yes, very exciting. iTunes and Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
It's like insane how long that took.
Yeah.
Basically 8 episodes. Weeks.
And it's crazy the word shit just basically. But if you take out the I and put an asterisk, there you go. You're accepted into the world.
We're shooting the with Dave and Ellen.
With our special guest today.
Oh, yeah. And our theme today is the Evil Hate Monkey.
Yay.
Hi. And before we go into our official theme today, let's do our check-in.
Yeah.
Monkey, so tell us, how have your poops been recently?
Actually, I had a really nice poop today and yesterday. My poops are really all over the Bristol stool chart. Just to be honest, but I was really happy, and I've been listening to the podcast and really taking a look at my poops a little bit more, and I would have to say that it was a good creamy type 4.
Oh,
yeah, and but I had eaten just a whole thing of brown rice the night before, and I think that's trying to get back into eating some more healthy things instead of just snacking. I'm a snacky person where I just eat like a squirrel,
or like a monkey in the tree.
Yeah, monkey. Yeah, and maybe it's the fact that I do probably eat too many bananas, and that I'm assuming that probably smooths me out a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of potassium.
Yeah, the potassium. But I was really happy. But the thing is, it was a nice one this morning. I'm a pretty regular. First thing in the morning, like I need to go even before the coffee hits. Like the smell of coffee will set me off. Yeah, for sure. It's even the smell. And but then there's the possibility that while we're recording this that I might just have to go.
We've never had a mid-record poop.
Well, I went and had a big fat burrito before I came here.
It's happening.
If you have to fart, please, in the mic.
But I'm the type of person I'll have a nice poop, and then like a half hour later I've got to go again, and it's gone from 4 to 7 or 6 usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had those days though. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
If I'm eating a bunch of potato chips or things out of a bag, usually
things out of a bag.
Yeah, that's what things that are natural wreak havoc on the old poop. But nice. Okay,
that's good.
You've run the gamut then, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
As long as you don't have constipation, because that's.
I never am constipated.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Ugh, that's painful.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? How's your poops been recently?
I'm kind of having the same thing. Like, it's just kind of all over the place this past week. There hasn't been anything of noteworthy to talk about, but
like you're pooping, no constipation.
Yeah, no constipation. I might do my regular 2 to 3 times a day, depending on. I went for a run this morning.
Oh yeah,
and then immediately, when I got back home,
the floodgates open.
Yeah, so
I actually went and bought a pair of running shoes today because of listening to the podcast and talking about poops. I was like, oh, maybe this will help me get a little bit more regular.
Every time I go for a run, I'm like, please, just let me
get
to this fucking run without taking a shit.
Like sponsors like Tushy, because we've sold 3 Tushies so far because of the podcast.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We don't. They're not our sponsor, but us just raving about it.
Right. They finally started following us on Instagram.
That's also why I want to poop here, because I'm interested in using
it.
Yeah.
And then,
Please.
what if we got a sponsor who was like running shoes? Because we've sold a pair of running shoes, talking about exercising and dutying after.
Yeah.
Just don't duty while running.
That'd be amazing. I could always use running shoes. So.
Right?
Like, I'd love a pair. New Balance.
That's what I
Or
got.
that's what I'm running. That's what I'm running with right now.
Yeah.
But Mizuno's, if you know, holler at us. But yeah, so mine has been like, I would say between a 4 and a 6. No, nothing too spectacular.
I talked on the Cheeky Lane episode about I was constipated for a while, and I think that it was the lack of magnesium, and I'm fully back on the magnesium and pooping like... Magnesium is my thing. It just opens up. But I also, on Tuesday night, went to a concert, and I'm not drinking right now because I'm still on Lyme meds, and ate mushrooms instead because it's an anti-inflammatory, and it's okay to eat mushrooms with...
Sounds like you eat mushrooms a lot.
Well, if you can't drink, you gotta have something.
You gotta do something. You gotta live. Jesus.
I mean, I maybe eaten mushrooms like 4 times in the past 3 months. It's not like a lot. But, the next day, mushrooms usually, I think I've talked about this before, opens up the floodgates.
Yeah.
And yesterday I pooed like 3 huge times before like 1 p.m. Like, it was like really emptying out. But I think also the magnesium's helping. And then today I had a big poo in the morning. It was totally a number 4. But then I followed it up with like a number 5. It was a little soft, a little not so perfect, and I like
Smelly seaweed.
yeah it literally looked like seaweed was like breaking off from it, but I had to use the tushy more than once. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, the no push no wipe, I didn't have to push, but I had a lot of wiping to do.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like with the tushy sometimes I have to use it a couple times depending
Yeah.
on, you know, what kind of day it is.
I'm gonna go there with the tushy. Have you ever squirt water so violently up your butthole it like literally goes in, and then you like cough it back up?
I love that. I'm like, yeah.
That happened to me this morning, and I was like, whoa, oh, well.
I feel like it's like a game at, like, you know, the boardwalk. Can you get it in? It's like ding, 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 ding.
The clown mouth.
Yeah, totally, exactly. I have a
Squirting it in the...
Oh my
I don't like
God.
clowns, but there could be a clown mouth on my butt.
We need to make that game. Just buttholes.
Just buttholes.
And the
Oh my
tushy
God.
squirting
A little
water
spraying
into
on
it.
Holy shit. Actually, that'd probably be pretty good. Giving this giant panda bear. Coney.
Now that we've done the check-in, let's get to the theme of today. We have burlesque royalty in the house. Evil Hate Monkey is an international burlesque star, and when I say royalty, he won King of Burlesque Hall of Fame in what year?
2010.
2010.
Out in Vegas.
So yes, we have had some burlesque people on this show, but this is our first official burlesque royalty.
Oh, yeah. I like to sit on my throne.
Who doesn't?
Yes. So Monkey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a monkey. I've been doing burlesque for about 14 years or so. Started with my ex. We did partner acrobatics and burlesque together, and then that was about 10 years or so, and then I started touring with these guys called Briefs. It's an all-male burlesque acrobatic circus show based out of Australia. So started doing stuff with them and toured with them for about 5 years and did a lot of touring the world and using a lot of different toilets, you know.
I know, touring shits. That must be stories.
Touring shits and flying, and it really messes up the whole schedule, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
as regular as
Plane
you'd like.
food. You can do a
Oof.
whole thing on plane food.
Yeah.
Plain food. I try to skip it a lot of times, but it's hard when you're...
I think also though that plain food, it's not just the plain food. It's the fact that your body gets
Oh, yeah. You're
bloated,
swelling. Yeah.
swelling, and gassy just from
Like a bag of potato chips on the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you bring a normal bag
if that's
on,
happening.
it like blows
that's
up like
happening
a pillow.
to your body too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you got to get it out.
Yeah. I actually have been lucky enough to I've seen Briefs twice. I saw it in London like 3.5 years ago, and then I saw it recently when you did your New York debut.
Yes.
And there's something in Briefs that you actually poop on somebody.
I do. So in Briefs, there's a dog handler scene, and in that scene, my handler, Captain Kidd, and myself, we win the competition, and everyone else leaves, and then Mark is chasing me around, and at the very end of it, he asks me to poop on him, and so I poop on his face, and it goes into his mouth, and he turns and looks at the audience and smiles real big, and then spits it out, and then smacks it into my face.
What's the poop made of?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what everybody asks, and my answer is it depends on what I ate the night before.
Oh, you're like, it's real.
Sure, theater. Yeah. It's a great. Well, when I first joined them, I was filling in. Basically, I got called up, and they were like, "Oh, can you come and do the show?" Somebody dropped out. You know, it'll be a 3-month run. This was back in 2012. It's like doing Edinburgh, England, and Dublin.
Oh, nice.
And showed up, learned all the stuff in like about a week, 2 weeks, something like that, and they were just explaining the act, and they said at the end, then you win, and then you poop in Mark's face. And I was like, okay, great. So
You're like, got it. You're like, that's it?
Yeah, that was not a problem.
I missed the show in New York, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hopefully if it comes back.
Hopefully. There's a possibility of next year, 2020, I think.
Nice.
Woo-woo.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I loved it.
Thanks.
It's so good.
I heard great things.
Yeah.
So.
It's like one of those shows that there's not one boring part to it.
Nice.
It's all amazing.
Yeah, it starts at a high energy and then actually keeps on building from there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, obviously, no one likes a boring show.
No, they don't.
No, but you know, there's that one act that's kind of a schmooze.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm going to the bathroom now.
They phoned it in.
Yeah. There's no bathroom breaks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's
How long is the show? Like, roughly?
It depends. It varies from where we are. I think ultimately it should be about an hour and a half, hour and 40.
Oh, okay. That's a lot.
But we've done it in 60 minutes. We've done it in Berlin where it's dinner theater, and there's an intermission that lasts almost a half hour with a dinner break.
Okay.
And so really, I think ultimately having an intermission is where the show fits best. Because
Gotcha.
we can organize the acts better.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yep, that's your only bathroom break.
that is.
If you have to poo, do it during the
Yeah,
intermission.
do it now.
Do it then.
Because you're going to miss everything else.
You don't want to miss it. Especially Monkey's pooing scene.
Ugh, no, you don't miss that.
Sorry. That was an ill-timed sound effect.
We're learning.
Yeah, we're still fleshing all this stuff out.
Yeah. Flushing it out? Flushing it out.
Flushing. I guess in this case, it's flushing it out. Right. I could just hear my mother say,
The
"It's the
puns.
proper term is flushing," but yes, flushing. In this context of this show, yeah, it's flushing.
Absolutely.
So let's get into some of the standard questions, Monkey.
Sure.
Over versus under.
I am an over.
Ah.
Yes, absolutely.
Surprising, because when you were at my house a couple weeks ago, he kept turning my paper under.
Just to piss you
Drive me
off.
crazy.
Because I heard that you had done it to him.
Well, the first time he was over for an Oscars party, and like the first time I went into the bathroom and it was under, I was like thinking, Gerald's, we don't have like a normal holder where it like snaps in. It's just like a weird like hook. So it's, you
Interesting.
just slide it on. And Gerald sometimes knocks the toilet paper off while he's wiping because our bathroom's so small. He like leans into it and it like falls off the hook.
Oh my god.
So I was just assumed that happened and that somebody just put it back under. But then when it was the second time, I was like, somebody's fucking with me.
Yep. That's me.
You're like, who did this?
No, I knew right away because I was like, who's been listening to the podcast? Monkey's fucking with me.
I was. I actually had a thought about this whole over and under thing. It's a little... You have got to use your mind for a second. But imagine you're in a stall and there's... Well, in a stall there's not really an over and under really like at in a public because it's one of those plastic things.
Yeah.
And it's more...
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
there is over and under, but it's always like hidden up under there
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But if there's a wall... And say it is a regular one and it's over and it's facing you, but if that wall wasn't invisible and you were on the other side, then it would be under.
I guess,
so it
yeah.
doesn't really make a difference.
I mean, like I was in the last podcast, I'm getting to the point now where I don't care anymore. I mean, I do care, but I don't. I mean, for this argument, I'm still under. I mean, oh, sorry, over. Oh my god, no, under. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Under, but I don't know. If we had our cleaning person came in the other day and she just rearranged and she had it over, I'm like, whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, I sent you that NPR thing from Wait, Don't Tell Me the other day. Where that was one of the answers was, I guess it was an Australian, that it dealt with the patent, which you guys touched on at one point as well, but that it is patented as over.
See, my whole thing about the patent thing is like, there's been so many patents over the years that have been improved on, and none of them. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, he should have been a big giant asterisk going.
Well,
like,
wasn't
hey,
toilet paper the improvement over corn cobs?
Well, yeah. So it's like, for me, it's like exactly, or shards of porcelain or ceramics,
or the rag, right?
Isn't that, or the rope. No. So yeah, sticking that stuff up your ass. Who cares if it's over or under? But I'm still like under.
If I'm at Dave's house, I do not change it over anymore because I know, but I feel like it's disrespectful to my co-host to do that.
Sure.
But everybody else's house, I totally change it.
I think it's hilarious, so you're more than welcome to do that. But that's fine. It's over.
Yeah.
It just almost.
It actually doesn't bother me one way or the other that much. But I prefer over, I guess.
It's not as big of a pet peeve as like not putting the roll on. Like, just, I took some
ballistic.
Oh my god! Like literally, like it makes every nerve in my body want to just scream. Like, how lazy are you? You can't fucking change your roll. But if I see it under, I'm not like, ow. But yeah, I will change it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you don't know better. Let me make your life easier.
I love that.
Floor or pants?
Floor or pants? I think it would have to be on the floor somewhere.
That's the right answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's always the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean we went into a longer debate with this with Cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's... You don't want to poo your pants.
No, I don't need to revert back to childhood.
No.
Yeah, that's you can't walk away from that, especially if you're around a bunch of people. You're just kind of like, oh, great.
But I'm really excited this year about Bambi's theme for Mermaid Parade is baby dolls.
Oh my gosh!
And Boo Boo Monkey's girlfriend and I are talking about actually wearing diapers for Mermaid Parade.
Sounds great.
Oh,
yeah,
I think I'll probably be a sea monkey in a
diaper. Yeah.
She told me the theme, and my eyes rolled in the back of my head. I'm like, oh my god, here we go.
It's gonna get nuts.
I just saw her like last week, and she's like, it's gonna be baby doll. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. This is.
But I was like, and Boo Boo was like, well, we don't have to stand in line for the bathroom, and I was like, that's true, but we do have to change our diaper.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, that'd be so great if you just like record some of that as you're out there. I think I'm walking out in the hot ass sun.
I still want to do a Depends party. Not number 2, but number 1.
Well, that can be your Depends party.
I know. But I want to do one where you're drinking to the point where you wet yourself.
Well, that's the Mermaid Parade again.
Well, yeah, you can
know what you're talking about.
That'll be your pre-party Depends party.
Gosh.
That'll be the test.
Public urination.
So look for a possible Depends Parade diaper party thing.
Here's another sponsor for the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my god! What if in like a couple of years you and I are king and queen of the Mermaid Parade?
Oh my god! I'd wear a diaper for that.
So famous, and we'll have to wear diapers.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I'll wear whatever. It'll be fine.
Monkey, when you were a kid, do you have any first memories about poo, farts, anything like that?
I am a very gassy person in general, and I remember a lot of long car trips. We used to drive from Maryland to Florida a lot to visit the grand folks, and I used to fart up a storm in that van, and my parents, they would get so pissed. They're like, Adam, stop, don't do that. And then it became this joke then that I would climb to the front of the vehicle while my dad's driving the van, and literally it was like, I gotta fart, and my mom would roll down the window and they would have me stick my ass out
Oh my god.
van.
So your ass is sticking out of the van.
Just so I could fart. And that happened a lot.
So down the highway.
Yep.
Ass is out the window and
Out
you
the
hear
window.
this.
It was probably a lot longer
A
sounding.
lot longer than that?
Oh,
Maybe
for
something kind of like this?
Sure. Yep, that's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were evil. They could have. I had some evil farts for sure.
That really makes you think of the farting in the wind.
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
Farting in the wind.
Just imagine blowing back in the car. They're like, no, it didn't.
Well, I mean, parts of it always stick in the underwear anyway. You know? So you're bringing some of it back.
Oh, yeah.
into the
That's
vehicle.
you're crop dusting the car.
Or like
that-
you're farting out the front window and it comes in through the back
Back.
window.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was kind of like that same game when you were driving. It's like, who could be in the state first? And did you ever do that where you'd like stick your hand as far forward? It's like, I entered the state first.
Oh yeah.
But for me, it was just sticking my ass out the window to fart.
Perfect.
You farted
still
in
pretty
many
funny.
states.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Crop dusting everywhere.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? The next car behind you is like, what is that?
Yeah. It always felt like it was in like North Carolina. I don't know why.
Maybe North Carolina's just more gassy than South Carolina.
Maybe.
Do you have any other childhood?
Well, there was. I remember one time we were at a Bonanza. I think at a rest stop. Do you remember that? Rest
No,
stop?
I don't.
Yeah, I remember Bonanza.
Bonanza. I don't know why I remember it being Bonanza, but I was also known by my folks as being very thrifty and wanting to save my money. And I remember going to the restroom and I saw a shiny penny in the bottom of a toilet. And
Oh my God.
I reached down.
No.
And I got the penny out of the toilet. And
God.
came back to the dining room table and was like, look, guys, I found a penny in the toilet.
Oh. Holy shit. You're like, don't touch me. Can't bring this kid anywhere.
Your parents have to like burn you.
Right.
There was a also, these are all on road trips because we would stop at south of the border and we bought a whoopee cushion. And I remember going into a bathroom and filling up the whoopee cushion in there as a kid. And my father and I went into the bathroom and I sat in the stall and just was like cranking it down, like just making all these fart sounds like left and right. And then it was like, oh, Dad, I don't feel good. We were into all those prank, like, what was the Jerky Boys.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So
Classic.
my brother and I were really into things like that. We made a video once of our friend was having a pool being made in South Florida, and so the water in the pool was completely brown because it hadn't been like fixed yet or whatever, or treated because it was still being built. And we made a whole video about. You remember life call, help, I've fallen. And we did one. It was like, life call, help, I'm out of toilet paper. And then we had like a little helicopter with a roll of toilet paper, and then we showed the pool and how we didn't quite make it and just shit ourselves. And it was all brown.
Browntown.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's pretty funny.
These things are just flowing out of me right now.
You have like, they're sliding out.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't have too many. I can't remember back that far. Stuff like that, but
I do remember. I think eating. I think one of the earliest poos that I remember looking at was. I probably was about 4, and I had eaten a snowball, but a very red snowball. And when I
With the coconut and the marshmallow?
yeah, I don't think it had that on it as a kid. You probably maybe the marshmallow. You probably wouldn't eat the coconut as a kid, but I remember seeing my poo being like a bright red, almost fluorescent.
Snowball the
snow
pastry.
cone?
No.
a snow cone?
Snow cone. We call them snowballs.
Oh, okay.
An ice, a shaved
Yeah,
ice.
like a shaved ice. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm thinking
Snowball.
about those pink
No,
snowballs. That's
no.
like the hostess.
Oh my God, I forgot about those
Yes.
things.
No, a snowball in Maryland sense would be a snow cone or a slushy. Yeah, a shaved ice with syrup on it. But yeah, my poop was very, very red, and I think I freaked out. And I remember going to either the babysitter or whoever was watching us, and I was like, I'm bleeding.
Oh God, I know, right? Like, what the fuck?
The beet
It was
shits.
very scary.
Yeah, beets.
Yeah,
Beet
beets.
shits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always gets me every time. I'm like, oh, I forgot I ate beats.
Yeah.
But you know how sometimes when you do eat beets, but you can sort of see where, like, oh, the beet came into that section. Because, like, part of the poop is brown, and then there's, like, this weird little wavy line.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, that's the beet. Just join the party.
It's like a marble pound cake.
Ooh, I loved those back in the day. The marble pound cake.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with Hidden Valley Ranch with sour cream and celery, and I'd eat like a whole tub of sour cream with celery just for like lunch. And the next day I would poop this like light green grayish poop because it was just pure sour
Oh my
cream
God.
and celery. And I was like, oh, that's
Like,
not
what
healthy.
the fuck?
No.
Oh my God. That's pretty gross.
Yeah, that's why I stopped doing that.
Yeah. I imagine.
Yeah. Do you have any products that you like using? I know if you poo here today, you'll try out the Tushy for the first time.
Yeah.
But is there
I
anything?
have gotten into the Poopery. Because I'm
Nice.
I as being a farty person, I feel like my poos are a little bit smelly, and that concerns me in public places. It doesn't bother me. I can poop in public places. It took me a long time, but now I'm just like, fuck it. And
Yeah,
just let
I'm
it
the same
go.
way.
Like, it's just like, oh, this is perfect. But if it's in someone's house or even at my apartment, yeah, I'm very much more aware of it, and the smell and the sounds. The sounds are a big thing. Being a gassy person, it can, and I'm like, ugh, and I can feel it going. I'm just like, just let it go out, and then it's just like, it's not.
Yeah, the bubble guts.
Yeah,
are
bubble guts.
into like.
And you've got the shower on and the sink on.
Oh yeah, I've done that too.
And
it never works.
I'll make sure that there's music playing out in the living room somewhere, or I'll even yell,
Turn it on.
Well, the other day, I guess it was last week, because Boo and I have been listening to the podcast and talking about the Bristol chart and whatnot. And I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, "Put Spotify on, just something, And I'm in the bathroom, and she jokingly acted like she was going to come in to check my Bristol chart and like turn the doorknob, and I freaked out and shifted, and I fucking snapped the toilet seat off.
Oh my God.
And I had to go. I was so shifty. I was like, ugh! And just freaked out. And I was like,
Oh my
"God,
God,
you
that's
made me
the
break
best.
the toilet seat." So I had to buy a new toilet seat.
Holy shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah. That's how, like, I freak out. I
You
don't
really torqued it there. You like
Yeah,
just,
I did. It was a quick, like, to the door, like, shut the no.
Oh my God.
And I was.
I love how she was trying to see what Bristol you made.
She wasn't really, but she was.
That would've been so great to
3,
go-
4.
Yeah.
I
She's
hope
like a
it's not
doctor. She's
seven.
she's like, show me on the chart where.
I couldn't see through the rage.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh! Yeah.
That one's so
That's the
wet.
that's the kind of sound you don't want anybody else to hear.
Yeah.
Especially
at
in your
home.
pants.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I did try to, before I bought the Poopery, I tried to make a little bit of my own. I took eucalyptus oil, which is very potent, and then mix it with a little bit of water. But the funny thing about that is the fumes from that kind of give your butthole like an aromatic, like it's the vapor. You can actually feel like this cooling on your butthole.
I am so trying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Tiny has it.
excited.
She made a spray for us, which has got all that stuff in it, but it's like some distilled water. But the only problem is, like, it's like a post poop spray,
Right.
which is great. But the thing is, like, when you spray, it's not like a regular, like, household spray. So it's just everything gets a little dewy
Yeah.
afterwards. So I kind of like the Poopery in the beginning.
Well, it makes sense that you're
Mitigate some of
creating.
that
It's
smell.
really, I think scientifically, it's creating an oil slick, and so as it plops through it, then the smells are trapped underneath
Yeah,
the oil.
it's neutralizing.
Brilliant.
Right? That's what
Yeah.
it's doing. If you think about it on a scientific level.
I mean, yeah, I like the Poopery just because the spray option feature is so much better than we have these other one drops,
Right.
which are great, but they're just like I always say, like you shouldn't call it drop. It's like a
It's multiple.
squeeze.
Okay.
It's like a hard, like, at least for me anyway. I don't know.
The
Like,
spray seems to like cover more.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want
Yeah.
an oil slick on top of the
Yeah.
water. And, now I don't think Pooperies would work really well in like German, where they have the shelf.
Yes.
See,
I talked about the poop shelf recently. Yeah.
We're gonna do a show, like a segment on that sometime, because I don't remember seeing the shelf at all. I don't.
They're older bathrooms still. I don't think it's as in the modern.
But if you're in Germany, you will see
You'll
one.
see it.
I don't know how. We were in Berlin. I was in Nuremberg. I don't know how I missed that, but
Yeah. Well, the first time you see it, you won't forget it.
Yeah, because your poop just sits there on a shelf.
That's so fucking gross.
And no matter what you do, the smell is just like, you don't realize how much that water really helps muffle the smell.
Yeah.
And then it just sits there on this like basically dry shelf.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, talk about pants or floor. Like, it's basically shitting on the floor.
And if you got a really, really big dump, like, you need to make sure it's not a Mount Everest and starts like coming back like stalactite, stalagmite.
Oh.
Yeah, because the shelf is really close to your asshole.
That deserves this.
No.
That's my thoughts on that. That's so nasty. Oh my
I don't
God.
know though. It's kind of interesting though. Afterwards, you're like, you can really look and analyze it.
Yeah.
Analyze it.
Analyze it. No, I'm good. I don't need to see that shit.
Literally.
No, yeah, I don't need to.
Don't go to
inspect
Germany.
anything.
Yeah.
At least maybe next time I go, I'll definitely be like, oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't want to like sort of deal with like the thought of that, and I just kind of just put it out of my mind. And
But they do it
Pushed
for
it
that
down.
reason though, right? So you can look at.
Yeah, I think it was for like parasites and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta poke a
this
stick
was a
at
big
it.
issue in Germany. Oh my God, it's so nasty.
But the Germans have like all that obsession with poo. Like they're supposedly like some big gay party in Berlin where they literally like wrap the entire club with like plastic so that everybody could shit on
No,
themselves. Yeah.
that is.
said supposedly. I've never been.
Can you imagine like we just had to cover that? Like I don't want to cover that, but I can't. I mean, I'll be out on the outside of that, like the door before you get into that.
Oh, I saw.
Like, what's it like in there?
Yeah.
I saw a guy in Berlin at the Berghain who was in the bathrooms, which are disgusting at this club, and he is like down on his hands and knees, and as you're going to the urinal, he's just like, pee on me.
What?
And it was like, get away. And he just went, but the thought of how many drugs would probably be entering into his system with the amount of drugs that people are
Oh yeah,
pissing out. and
it's just
stuff.
like he's just like.
But he's
continually
literally like
high.
on the floor next to you at one of those long urinals, and it's just like, get away.
But that's like, there's no amount of drugs that I'm gonna be like, hey, can you piss on me or shit on me?
Nope.
It was a
I don't think
fetish,
it'll ever be
for
that
sure.
high. Yeah.
Our next guest, though, is a dominatrix who has a toilet slave. So if anybody has any questions for us, please write to the podcast.
I don't even know what a toilet slave is, so that's my question.
That will be answered,
Great.
darling.
I think you can get an idea of what a toilet slave is. I'm just gonna. Yeah, oh my God, that's just, I couldn't imagine living my life like that.
No.
But, for some people, hey, that's your thing, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably like a VP at Wells Fargo.
Ooh.
It's like, it's all buttoned up, and it's like, oh, I can't wait till 6 o'clock. It's great.
Do you have any accident stories or funny stories? And we prefer if they happen to you.
Yes.
But if they are even an urban legend or somebody that it's happened to, we like those too.
All right. Well, yes, I do have a story. About 6 years ago, I was at my ex's family's house. It was Christmas time, and there was the big holiday gathering, and it was at her family's house. So it's all extended family, all these people. And the night before, we had just hung out, and we had drank a lot, this and that. And then the next morning, it's all the prep and everything, and my ex is not feeling too great and needs to just stay in the bathroom. There's 2 bathrooms. There's the downstairs bathroom, which is like the main bathroom, and then there's the parents' bathroom upstairs. And she is not feeling well, literally just in the tub, getting very, very hungover, dealing with that. People are starting to arrive, and it's like, and all of a sudden it's like, I've got to take a fucking shit. I gotta go really bad. And I'm like, I can't go in there because she's in there. I'm like, I'm gonna have to use her parents' bathroom upstairs. And I'm not happy about this. So I go upstairs. Luckily, it's like quiet up there. I can just let it happen, let it go. And I do. I just have my big old shit, flush the toilet, and the water starts rising in the toilet. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, no. And I'm like, okay. And then it like, I just wait, and it like sort of goes down, and like slowly a little bit, and then it just stops. But it's like all a mess of brown murky, and I'm
it's
like,
the worst.
and I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I wait a little. I was like, all right. I flush it again. Bad choice.
No. Yep.
No.
And it just starts coming up, and it starts overflowing.
Oh, no.
Onto the floor in the parents' bathroom, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, no. Quick point. Turn off the water valve first thing. That is the number one thing that you can do to avoid a situation.
Oh, wow.
like this.
I didn't even think about that.
Turn the water valve off, and it will stop the flow of water, and you can then deal with plunging.
Oh, my God.
So for everyone listening, there's a good point.
How have I not thought that?
Yes.
It took
Turn
us
it off.
9 episodes to get to
Turn
like
the water valve
so
off.
simple.
You can avoid
Wow.
a lot of problems, and which I didn't. And meanwhile, the water's going everywhere. I'm freaking out. I'm like, all right, now I gotta clean this. And I'm in her parents' bathroom, and I. Meanwhile, like some of it has gone down. It is not so. It's a dirty brown. It's not a brown, and I'm looking for things that I can scoop the water out. The only thing that there was a cup that had the toothbrushes in it. So like took the toothbrushes out, and like,
my God.
and I'm sitting there and I'm like scooping water to get it down to a certain point. There's no plunger in this bathroom, so I'm like, oh, and meanwhile there's water, so I'm like the towel, I'm sopping the stuff up.
Oh.
I'm just like a mess of like what do I have to go and tell her father, like I need help.
Oh yeah.
There's no plunger, there's no like I've sopped up as much as I can. I put that into the tub to leave like and go downstairs. Lo and behold, they're prepping this big dinner, and they're trying to figure out why is there water
Oh no!
dripping down
Holy shit!
into the kitchen where they're
Oh
prepping
no!
dinner. And I'm like,
Did you just like run away? I would have like just left the house.
there was nowhere to
No,
go.
yeah.
I was just like,
Holy
and I
shit!
just told her dad, I kind of took him to the side. I'm like, look, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. I need a plunger.
There's shit water everywhere.
He's like, don't worry, I'll deal with it. I was like, no, just give me the plunger.
Yeah.
I will deal with it. And give me a plastic bag. I will take this stuff to the washer and dryer. It's like, it was just an endless amount of bad things going on. And it finally resolved itself. The dripping down of liquid got cleaned up in the kitchen. It didn't go into the turkey or anything.
Ooh.
It was
Wow, that's a good
was
story.
horrific.
Holy shit!
yeah.
That's
But the lesson again is turn off the water valve.
Yeah, I'm so happy at that educational moment.
Yeah, that's great. You know, it's like you learn something every day.
Yeah,
And that's a good one.
that's a good one.
Also, side note, I don't get people that don't have a plunger. I mean, even if it doesn't happen,
You
it's
just have a plunger.
Yeah,
They had a
Like, have a
plunger,
fire
but it wasn't
extinguisher
up
has-
there.
have a
It was like in the garage or the other
Yeah, like-
bathroom, which no one could get into that other bathroom.
right.
But like, I get not wanting to keep the plunger near because it gets gross.
Yeah.
Like I do have I do have a plunger not right there, but yeah, if you have guests or something,
We
you
also-
gotta figure
But no
something
one
out.
was meant to be using the upstairs bathroom.
Yeah.
Really, you know?
But
I don't know,
Cheeky
man.
was telling us about that fancy plunger she has that like has a case to it.
Yeah,
and, like,
so when you pull it out and then you
Yeah.
put it back in, it covers it.
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
I mean, exactly. And it's also it's like how often are you using a plunger where it's just like it's just that crusty? But I get it. Like no, you don't want to think about that. I understand that part.
yeah.
but,
E. coli.
you know,
That's all I
yeah.
think about.
I just like I try to just do a flush after the flush just to get it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, you get
Yeah.
the remnants of toilet paper off and stuff too. You've got.
I mean, isn't it funny? It's 2019 and plunger technology.
no,
is
it's gotten
still-
better. It has. Gotten
Well, I mean, it's gotten better, but it's still the basic concept of like a rubber fucking boot
Yeah.
yeah.
with like shit all over it.
Yeah.
I have a plumber friend that I want to interview for the podcast because recently when we actually installed our tushy, for some reason it wasn't our toilet wasn't flushing correctly, and so I asked the super of our building, and he was like, "Oh, the landlord just needs to buy you a new toilet," and I was like, "That's not going to happen. Like my landlord's so cheap." And so my plumber friend came over, and he was like, "Oh, you have one of those low flush models," so he ripped out the guts in the tank and switched everything to it, and now it's like an airplane tank. Yeah, and it's just like whoop.
I need pressure, motherfucker.
And that was in the tank. That wasn't below. So you need something to really boom, push it all out. Yeah. So
because then if you're flushing it twice or 3 times, you're not saving any water.
Exactly.
You know?
Which some of those low flush, you'd end up having to do that anyway.
Yeah. Booze, you've got to flush 2 to 3 times.
Yeah, totally.
Which are people like little dainty shits.
I need something. Well, and especially if you've got a floater, and it's you're seeing it swirl at the bottom. You're like, "Come on, you can go." Oh, damn it! I gotta wait.
I need something to pull that thing.
To be a cartoon.
You're right.
With this little guy.
Come on, go down. Damn.
With the guy from Flesh and Frenzy.
He's like, "Nope, you're not getting rid of me anytime soon." Oh my god. Yeah, that's a funny. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't funny when it's happening to you, but
no, it wasn't. But I look back on it now, and I'm like, well, it made a really good story.
Yeah, it's kind of a scene of a movie.
Yeah,
some Christmas rom-com movie.
It's pretty awful at the time.
Do you have any other accidents, urban legends, tour shits?
Tour shits.
I mean, on tour, I tend to have just very uneasy belly, and it's, I don't know why it is, but a lot of times, right as the show's about to start, it's like, oh man, I'll get through the first act, and then I would run back during Fez's long introduction, which can last about 7 minutes. So I know that I've got that amount of time to just. It then comes out.
You do poo
during show.
Wow.
Sure. Not at the slipper room, no. I'll go upstairs for sure. Yeah. I tend to poo about 3 to 4 times a day, probably.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's regular.
Yeah, I think it's
but
good.
They're not like the nice types of poo. They're just moving things through. I think I have a quick digestive system. But
that's okay. I'd rather get that stuff out of your system.
Yeah, you don't want that stuff sitting in your body.
But certain things, though, I'm realizing as I get older that I probably am celiac and shouldn't be eating bread. The other thing that I've noticed is onions. I can eat onions within about 5-10 minutes. I probably have to go to the bathroom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've never heard that with onions before.
It's pretty quick.
Interesting.
And the more raw they are, the worse it is.
I've heard that with lactose people, but never onions.
Well, we used to think that I was lactose intolerant. My mom thought that, and which made me. I was drinking the Lactaid stuff as a kid, and then I got down to skim milk. I liked skim milk more because I thought it was colder, which I think it is and I actually looked that up because it has more water in it.
Yeah.
And I liked it being cold in my cereal. But I think now that I think about it, I probably wasn't lactose intolerant. I was probably always gluten.
Yeah, gluten screws me up.
Yeah.
Years ago, a friend of mine was doing this nutritionalist diet. This is before even gluten-free was a thing, and he lost a bunch of weight, and I was like, I've been gaining a lot of, this is my late 20s, and I was like, I've been gaining a lot of weight. I'm going to try your diet. And it was basically cutting out corn, sugar, wheat, and dairy. And I knew the dairy was going to be a big thing, but the wheat, the gluten, I was like, holy, I'm not bloated anymore. I poop regular. This is crazy. Yeah. So, and that was
it wreaks havoc on some people's systems.
Yeah. 14 years ago, before the whole gluten-free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's no bueno. But if you think about it, if you get flour wet, it turns into a glue.
Yeah.
You can make paper mache with wet flour. So
right. That's inside your guts.
Yeah, that's inside your gut. Gluing it up.
It tastes so good.
You're preaching to the choir.
But yeah, it does. I've eased up on the amount of carby type stuff like that for gluten. But I still I love pretzels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like,
I
that's
mean,
a hard thing to
everything's
give up.
gluten-free now. You can get gluten-free
Yeah, that's true.
pretzels. I actually think gluten-free
The gluten-free
pretzels
pretzel,
are better.
actually, the gluten-free pretzel sticks.
Yeah.
Those taste fantastic.
Yeah, and they're crunchy.
Yeah, the regular other kinds I'm not really a huge fan of, but yeah.
I was obsessed with the gluten-free pretzels buffalo flavor, and it was to the point where I was eating so much that the roof of my mouth was all scraped up.
Like, why is she doing this to us? My mouth.
They don't make them anymore, so I can't torture myself.
Oh.
I'm such a masochist like
I'm going
that.
to try to find some for you.
The roof of your mouth was chafing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kept eating them through that.
Oh, I've done that.
Because
You're like, I can't, this shit's so good.
Yeah, I'm a just total
It's
masochist. So you're in a relationship, as we talked about.
Uh-huh.
How does your partner fend with your poo talk?
She thinks my... how would I describe it? The fact that I'm always telling her to turn on music or to go to the other room, she finds it crazy. She's like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, it does. It matters to me. So, but she doesn't care.
But you keep the romance alive.
I think so. I try not to fart in front of her.
But it has happened.
Oh, yeah, and then it's a...
Oh my God.
I mean, if you're a gassy person, it's got to happen.
Yeah, but I'll hold that stuff in.
Oof.
Yeah, I used to do that, but now I'm like, ugh, let it out.
I don't have as much sphincter control
Let it
anymore. Ooh. But like sometimes I'll try to hold it in and it'll still sneak out. Like my sphincter is just
Yeah, not as strong as you'd like it to be.
yeah. Now that I'm in my 40s, it's a
Yeah.
little looser.
I know. What I'm that's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear. But one of this when I get older, it's like not having that control anymore.
Well,
It's
I think though, it's not that you don't have the control. I think a lot of it is like you just don't care anymore when you get that old. I've seen many an older person just letting it go.
Yeah.
Just sitting around and having a conversation. They don't even blink twice that they did it or that it made noise, and you're like. And they act like it never even happened. I think they don't even know it anymore. They just
I was in a restaurant a couple years ago in Cape Cod visiting my family. It was a sushi restaurant, and I'm sitting there with everybody, and this guy who had to have been like in his 80s. And I'm going to reenact this for the Instagram too. But as he was sitting down, he was like.
Is it lowering himself onto the fart?
I think the fart was lifting him off the chair, so it was like slow, and he was maybe 3 feet away from me. So I was like, "Wow!"
Did it smell?
No, thankfully it didn't smell, but it was the longest, and like it was literally like 30 seconds of him coming down and the fart keeping him up, and I started laughing.
It's like
so
air brakes
hard.
on a truck.
Yeah, I started laughing so hard, and my boyfriend was there, and he was like, "Why are you laughing?" And I was like, "That dude just farted the longest fart ever."
It's like a cool air cushion.
Yeah. And my dad's in his 70s, and we went to a museum a couple years ago where you get like the audio tour headphones, and it was like a big gallery where it was like gallery after gallery, and I saw him and I went to like tell him something, and he has the headphones on, and as I'm like not even 2 feet away, he rips the largest fart, and I turned to him and I go, "Just because you can't hear it doesn't mean everybody else in here can't." And he started laughing hysterically, and I was like, I'm so jealous that he just can rip a fart and like not care about it, and like these little old ladies were like scowling at him, and I was like, oh, damn you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get to that point.
I don't know. I think I'd still care. Maybe I know. Probably
Maybe
not.
when you're in your 70s and 80s, you probably
I don't know.
Probably won't.
yeah.
I don't know. I like to think that, but
Well, you're acting as if you don't care around your house and your partner.
I mean, my wife doesn't. I mean, at this point, she'll just be like, "Did you just fart?" I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But we move along. When we first started dating, I was holding that shit in like nonstop.
Right.
It was awful. I started being like, I just want to fart so bad, but I can't.
It hurts.
I can't let her know that I fart.
Yeah.
Well, it's the worst. But
Yeah.
and now we've been together for so long. I'm kind of like, look, it's happening, and vice versa. It's not like she's like
Yeah,
fart
she's
free.
not holding him in.
No, not at all. She's no problem.
But I remember when you and Boo Monkey were first started dating, and I invited you to the private poo and farts page,
Yeah.
and you were telling her something, and she was like, "Tell Ellen, poo put it on the page. Like, she was like, no, I don't want to know this.
No, yeah.
I feel like you're a little more open about it than...
I think I find the humor in it, but I'm also still quite private about my movements.
Yeah. I mean, as much as
I'm kind of with you on that one. Yeah. I think it's funny. I don't mind talking about it, but when it comes down to the actual...
I can look back on things and stories and be like, oh, that was funny.
Well, I got on the private poo and farts page, I will describe my bowel movement.
Yeah, you're very open, yes.
But I will never take a picture of it and share it with you guys.
I've taken photos of my poo.
And put it on the poo and farts page?
No, not...
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yes.
I don't want... as much as I think, like, what I just made was impressive, I'm not going to go to that length.
You will.
No, I've had the poo and farts page for like 3 years now and haven't done it yet.
Yeah, well, wait till you're 80.
Let's see if we still have the page then.
Yeah, right? I think there'll be some, whatever that iteration of Facebook.
I spray painted a outdoor junkie poo once, gold.
Wait, okay, back up. You need to tell this story.
There was in Baltimore, we had a studio, and there was the alleyway where all this graffiti would happen, but there was also like a methadone clinic around the corner. So a lot of the junkies,
say no more.
They would come in that alley and poo, and because there was a dumpster back there, and we were doing there was an art exhibit opening, and we were using the back alley as part of some of the stuff, doing trapeze out there. So we went to go clean up out there, and there was this big turd. Yeah, big wet pile of turd. And I went up to my studio and I just grabbed a can of gold spray paint, just like, because it's graffiti everywhere. And I was just like, nice. And it was this, really nice golden turd.
Talk about the Midas touch.
Yeah. You just like dressing that turd up.
She'd call it an adookie.
Yeah.
Because that's what a dressed up turd is.
A dookie.
Dressing that dookie up.
Yeah. I mean, it helped take the smell away for a little bit. Maybe because we were smelling spray paint.
Yeah.
But it actually adhered to the poop very well.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Go finger.
I'd have to look. I probably do have a photo somewhere deep in the archives. I might be able to find.
Oh my god! Yes, please. We'll put it on the Instagram.
Yeah, I'll put it on the
page. Yeah.
We already talked about your job having poo related with briefs and you pooing on. What's your part? The guys,
Captain Kidd.
Captain Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
But has anything else happened during your show or performance? Like, yeah.
Not really. I mean, more so just the every once in a while feeling like, oh, I wish I would have gone to the bathroom before jumping through a fire hoop or dancing on point, where I just feel heavy, and then afterwards I can and I go and I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. So in that respect, how it can actually, if you know that you've got it and you haven't had that chance, how it can actually affect your performance.
I know you do that, your newer acts with the fire hoop, and it's like real fire that you jump through. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just imagine you farting during that and the fire.
Yes. Yeah, I did light farts on fire when I was younger. That's always fun.
Seriously, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And anybody who's done it. Yeah. The hardest I've laughed my entire life was when a friend came over and was lighting their fart on fire. And it was even before they actually did it. I could not stop laughing. Like, it was so much pain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Lighting farts on fire is hilarious.
Yeah.
So funny. I will never try it myself, though, because I will be that statistic who, like, sucks the fire into my ass and burn it. Like, I know
Breathe it back out.
Yeah.
Like, I was lighting a fart on fire. Like, sure you were.
Yeah. Why are you at the emergency room? Well, I have this podcast, and...
They're like, sure you do.
It was research.
Yeah, it was research. We do some testing at the studio. Oh, my God.
Get workman's comp for that, right?
You're like...
Ooh.
Oh, I love the part at the end. It's like,
do you want to add anything else? Any other stories that you have?
Well, I feel like I might have one in this next segment.
We are going to try a new segment calling Let's Get Shitty.
Let's get shitty.
Which means let's talk about something that is shitty in our lives that is, of course, poo or fart related. But things that are like kind of my pet peeve with people not changing the toilet paper roll. That's like a shitty thing.
Yeah.
And I think whoever does that is a shitty person.
Just like gripes, people you don't like, things you don't like.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Let's Get Shitty.
I'm going to start with my Let's Get Shitty. I've talked in the past about building the nest when you're in a public bathroom because and as we've learned, you really shouldn't squat and shit because then the shit gets all over everywhere and you're just a disgusting animal. I mean, that in itself is a Let's Get Shitty moment. But the building of the nest at a public bathroom, and then you do the poo guard on the top of the splash guard on the top of the water, and then you've like built this thing that, and you're like turtling, and then the automatic flusher flushes it all down, and I'm like, no, I have to start over again. And sometimes automatic, like I've seen like the hack where you could put a piece of toilet paper over the automatic flusher to like prevent it, but some are just built into the wall unless you have like tape with you. It's impossible. But yeah, that's my gripe shitty moment that happened. The auto flusher. No, and then when you're done shitting and you stand up, it never works, and you're like, fucking flush already. And you have to push the button anyway.
I always push the. I never trust that thing.
No, it doesn't work. It only works when you don't want it to.
Elbow.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's my shitty moment that happened in a Target bathroom recently. I'm a big
department stores.
Yeah, you're a Target shitter.
And a Home Depot shitter. I'm like basically, if it's a chain store, I've dropped a turd.
I feel like any public place that has about at least 4 to 5 stalls, I feel free and open. If it's one stall and one urinal, then I feel like that's a private bathroom. You know?
I mean, someone's like this pissing. You're like, seriously, man? Like, just wait.
Don't you like when you do see the 5 stalls? I kind of like, I'm gonna take a shit in the handicapped. I feel like this is a handicapped moment.
Oh, I go.
I need a little more room. That's the
first place I go to.
Right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Because and it's also, the thing that drives me crazy about the single stall. Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, the little small stalls, is most of the time, people like design the sort of like toilet paper holder. They put it down so low that you kind of have to do that weird thing where you're like just like digging for that and praying there's a roll in there. Yeah, totally. But that's I go for the handicap stall every time. Yeah, if it's available.
Speaking of that, do you know those Dyson hand dryers?
Yes.
I feel like the ones where you put your hands down into. Yeah. They put those too high.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone can bend down to put their hands into it. But if you're short as I am, I'm always like,
Didn't they say that those, or was it that one or the other, the crazy
the
tornado one? Like they were saying like how like
spreads germs.
Yeah, just like spreads shit. The shit's like everywhere.
The blue tornado.
Yeah, like those crazy like new ones. But I mean, still, I don't care. The thing fucking dries my hands so fast. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I like the Dyson. Like it's like an arrow. And
yes,
like,
I've seen that one.
Blade.
Yeah,
the blade one. That's pretty good.
Yes.
That one's awesome.
Yeah.
And they fancy.
Even have, I know. And they have like advertisements of all their other products, like little cartoons of it on it. And I'm always like, interesting. What else do you guys make?
Oh my god, I wish I had a drop of like a hand dryer right now.
You can find it.
I'll find it. We'll keep adding to the show, people.
So do you have a shitty?
I was thinking about this all week. And this kind of plays into the news, but again, I run in the park a lot. And Prospect Park here in Brooklyn, and the porta potty situation is at an all time. It's just so bad.
It's evil.
I mean, like I don't use them. I usually just run to the library if I have to go, or like there's like a little like area down in the middle of the park where I can go. But I mean,
behind a tree?
No. It's a little pavilion thing, like where the new ice skating rink is,
lake.
Or not new, but it's like, the lake. Don't mind me.
The one where the dogs swim.
Yeah, that's where I go. No, but it's just, every once in a while, like you gotta take a piss or whatever, and you want to use a porta potty, and it's like you open that door, and then the human beings that use this thing should be executed. I'm sorry, I don't mean to get so. It's just like. I mean, have a little decency. Like, we all know porta potties are disgusting, but there's no need for you to shit on the actual lid, like on the part you sit on.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens so much, and it's just like
It's because they're squatting.
I know, but it's like it looks almost like it's like someone's. It's like it's personal. It's like I'm just gonna ruin this for everyone else.
Yeah.
And I guess I did a run today before this podcast, so I was thinking about that when I saw a porta potty when I was coming back home. But just the people that like just abuse the free public bathroom for emergencies. I imagine. I mean, no one's just casually using a porta potty, but
Right.
Yeah, those are
have some fucking decency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. But I'll think of some more stuff as the weeks go on. That was just more like a.
No. We'll find shitty stuff to complain about.
I got a lot to complain about, but top of my head, that was the first thing I could think of.
What about you, Monkey? Do you have a shitty?
Well, mine's it's a bit of a shitty story, and it does involve a porta potty as well. It was at a festival in Australia, and I needed to go really bad. It was hitting me, and it was outdoor festival, and I found a porta potty, and it was backstage area, so this was more performance area. Go back and get in the stall, and because it's a porta potty, usually you're cleaning down, so you're reaching for toilet paper. There's no toilet paper.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
oh no, it's like the porta potty, there's no toilet paper, so I'm like, okay, open the door, and I'm like, I gotta find another porta potty, and I look over, and I see one in the distance, and I'm like huffing it over there because it's like, ooh, it's coming, and I get in there, and it's like, and I get in, no toilet paper, and I'm just like, and by this point my body has already gone through the ringer, and it's like, no, you're not.
What's happening?
So it's just like, okay, sit down, and it's just like, let it all out, and then I'm like, fuck, all right, underwear. You're going. You're being sacrificed here. I'm sorry. I didn't shit in my pants, but basically I did, because then I just took my underwear and used that as.
Oh, your underwear was like, why?
Yeah, and then just threw it in the porta potty. But I mean, it's the worst when there is no toilet paper, and you've just got to go. Or in any public situation, you open the stall and there's no toilet paper. You open the stall and you're just like,
And it's so annoying because it's like, that's the one job you got to do. I mean, if you have public restrooms, especially porta, it's like, that's the one thing
that you need.
That's all you need to do. It's like, thank you for having it there. I appreciate it, but it's like, just restock the TP.
Yeah.
Or it's also awful, like if there is the TP and there's too much, and then there's some on the ground, and there's wet toilet paper on the floor.
We're just disgusting.
Who are these people?
I know. They're animals. They're just like, I mean, God. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, as a monkey, I still think I'm fairly clean.
Well, you have to be a clean monkey. Yeah. Just because you're an evil monkey doesn't mean you're not a clean monkey.
Yeah.
It's people saying, you know what it is? It's people saying, oh, someone else will take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's someone else's job.
Just like,
who's been taking care of their shit for way too long. Be an adult, people.
Yeah. Ugh. Horrible.
Terrible people. Well, that's our new segment.
You ain't shit.
And now, towards the end of the show, we are going to go into the news.
Oh, great.
So this is a article that I saw in New York Magazine. We have a subscription to it, and I used to read this thing cover to cover, and it's still a great magazine, but it's just it keeps coming fast and furious, and I can never keep up. But I did see this while on the toilet, actually. It's a story about the porta potty business. And the title I love, or the subtitle, The 5 Families of Feces by David Govey Herbert.
We need to find one of those 5 and interview them for the podcast. I
mean, it'd be great. I mean, this came out in February, the week of February 4th to the 17th of 2019, so it's fairly new.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not much for a news story. I just found it really fascinating since we cover all things poop related. And as you hear me turning the pages here, there's basically 5 big, I guess, brands or people that sort of run the
porta potty industry.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious about how they dump that stuff, because that
they have
blue liquid.
Well, yeah, they have a whole team of people that come in and
vacuum it out.
And what I found was the big businesses, real estate's a big one. and these contracts for like the other one on here actually, which I love, which is near and dear. The company, which I'm flaking on right now, I should have used the highlighter for some of this stuff right here. But here we go. Royal Flush, which everybody's probably seen that.
Yes.
They do special events. That's big. That's their sort of big stuff, and they have the enviable 7,000 toilet contract with the New York Roadrunners Club.
Whoa.
So I do a lot of Roadrunners races, and for the most part, they're pretty clean. Yeah, I mean, like they're pretty pretty legit. But yeah, there's a bunch. The Big Five, as they call it. There's so much stuff here. But basically, it's really fascinating. You should read the article about like sort of like who kind of controls what. They mainly focus on a guy named Charlie Howard, who is out of.
Are they kind of like mafia based too?
No, I mean, no. That's the kind of vibe. But this guy definitely sounds.
I'll toilet paper your house if you.
Well, no, I mean, but this one guy, Charlie Howard, like he seems like a total gangster. Like he's out of a Broad Channel in Queens, and this guy is just like totally just. He just sounds like a mobster.
Yeah.
But just with porta potties.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just kind of like, look, man, this is what we do. It's just,
It's a shitty job.
It's a shitty job. You start at the bottom and you stay there. But it makes a lot of money. I mean, like, they were saying that...
stuff like that totally makes money.
Yeah, I mean, like, tons.
Yeah.
It's a $2 billion industry nationally.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going away.
No.
No. I mean, everybody shits.
Yeah.
There's one really good quote here I wanted to read. And I think it's one of the sales representatives
But like,
for one of the companies.
I would love to interview somebody who does porta potties with the cleaning out, because that blue solution you probably just can't put in the sewer. There's probably then like with you wiping your butt with your underwear, what else have they found in there? Like people have dropped phones in there.
That's right
money.
here. They're talking about like basically the collection stuff, like how they're taking out those chunks, and the sort of hose. This one guy was talking about in the story, one of the drivers or people that like goes in and cleans it on site. It's like they're saying like construction guys drop their phone in there, drop all kinds of weird shit in there that's not supposed to be in there. So when they're sucking it up, something had happened and like it pierced the hose, and this guy got like shit all over him.
Oh no!
But I feel like that blue stuff is like stains things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to know. I mean, plus
I wonder what the blue stuff is.
You have the EPA, like they're like the guy in Broad Channel, like a lot of the stuff too is like all over near Jamaica Bay. For those of you listening who don't live in New York, Jamaica Bay is like this little area where
Queens, right?
Yeah, it's like the border of Brooklyn, Queens, but it's also it was very popular back in the day for dead bodies by the mob.
Oh God!
And so like a lot of stuff that gets stored over there is porta potties, and like all that stuff that gets cleaned out kind of seeps into the ground, and like and it's a protected wetlands area.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Literally.
that. There's some of that, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I'm trying to find this quote. I thought I'd circled it. Anyhow, it was just fascinating to see like how many of these people like sort of run this stuff.
Yeah.
And but the main article is with the personalities in it, and this one guy Charlie Howard just seems like this total gangster guy. Like he made all this money, he bought like some huge mansion in Broad Channel, which is like working class firefighters, policemen,
right?
That kind of thing. He's like this giant yacht like that dwarfs everybody's fishing boats, and like just kind of like living on the high on the hog, and just like
I wonder what he named his yacht.
Oh, there's a bunch of. I think Both Ends was one of them. That was one of the boat names. Both Ends.
Great.
And then of course, like he's got a new girl because he divorces his wife, or his wife. They split up. He gets some younger girlfriend, and the ex-wife is this whole back and forth. I mean, it's like this. It's like a soap opera, but with shit.
I would totally watch that reality show.
Yeah, man, it's fascinating.
King of the Throne.
Yeah.
But with Charlie, there's a big threat with his company because there's a class action lawsuit filed against a bunch of ex-drivers and like guys that collect all that stuff. That he owes like all this back time for money for overtime. Mm-hmm. And things of that nature, and so like basically, if he loses, it'll basically bankrupt the company.
Oh yeah.
And then there's also like a part of the article that I thought was fascinating. Like all these not a trust fund, hedge fund company had bought up the biggest like porta potty company in the States, and they're just basically going around trying to like buy other companies. Like he's like, I'm not selling. This is my business. But one of his big competitors had sold, and like so it's just kind of like one of those things where I think it's just these companies come in and just start scooping up the little guys in each region or of the country. But it was really fascinating to find out about, like, you think about this stuff, you're like, oh, you go to a concert, you go to a festival.
Yeah.
You're like, who deals with all this stuff?
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So,
I've been in those like fancy porta potties that like you don't even see the blue stuff. Like it flushes with like a airplane toilet cap and stuff. Like those are the best.
Yeah, no, those are the sort of deluxe ones.
I like the ones that are they're weighted. So like there's like that little flappy lid, and then like once enough goes on, it slides off.
Yeah.
So that way you're not ever really looking down into the porta pot.
Yeah.
I mean, they do mention that, like, sort of like how that's changing things, like, as far as like luxury sort of like porta potties, which look like bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like they're supposed to be like made to look like
there's trailers that come in now that are mobile trailers.
Totally.
Those are awesome too.
And those run about, like, according to this article, upwards of like $3,000 for a wedding or something like that, for example, a day. And like they said, so they're also on construction sites. I think it's like $100 a day or a week to clean it out. But then, plus the rentals for the toilets. And those things are like there for like the whole job.
Yeah.
It's not just like, as soon as they're
just
done.
drop them off. And
they're there for like years.
Money.
Yeah.
It's like printing money, basically.
Yeah, Monkey sent me that picture of that portable porta potty. It's like on wheels. We'll have to post it on the Instagram.
I have a funny porta potty festival story real quick.
Yeah, please.
During Y2K, I went to the Fish concert in South Florida, and it was their big 2000, and it was on a Seminole reservation, so there was only one way in and one way out, and it was a 3-day concert event. At the end of it, they played from New Year's Eve till sunup, and everyone was partying, this and that, and then everyone goes back to their car, and the smart people got out. Everyone else went and slept, and then when we all woke up to like leave, it then just became this massive traffic jam that lasted 6 to 8 hours or something like that. God. And all the porta potties hadn't really been dealt with for the last day, and so they couldn't get in to move them, and everyone's stuck there. And I remember going to the porta pot, and there's talking rows of porta potties, and everyone you would open, and literally there was poop coming out of the top. Like you couldn't sit. You could not sit. And I was like, this is gross. So I went back to the car and I found a 5-gallon bucket. And out in the parking lot with people around, I just sat on a bucket and shat in a bucket. I was like, I am not going.
That's a good one, man. I love that one.
That's where you go like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Ellen showed us a picture of basically like an old door with a hole cut out with a bucket underneath and a lid on top.
It's got a proper seat.
Yeah, it does. It's got a proper lid.
I should do a thing about like the different types of, composting toilets and things like that.
I've Bill Gates is reinventing the toilet right now.
Oh, great.
I posted it on the page, and it's brilliant.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Lime. Is it lime? There was one when I was traveling in Europe where it was in Scotland, and it was basically hay bales that the person has underneath. So you have to like climb up, and it was a nice like wooden thing with a toilet, but you're basically pissing and shitting onto hay bales, and then you top it with some wood chips and whatnot. But I guess it filters through the hay bales.
Yeah, there's those burning toilets too.
Yeah.
I was on this island in Thousand Island, like on the border of Canada, and it was this little teeny private island that was basically a house built on a rock, and the island was as big as Dave's living room. It's
right.
Like,
so
it's not a real And he had an outside shower, but his toilet, you actually put this thing that looked like a coffee filter in, and then you did your business, and then you turned on something and it burned it right there. Like it was a metal toilet.
I like that.
Yeah.
Fire.
It's like an incinerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't have plumbing on this teeny island. And I was like, this is crazy.
That's great.
Yeah.
I found the quote.
Oh, good.
So I'm circling back here. It's in regards to like they're talking about portable toilets and how they've basically like gone through an evolution. But the current ones that we all know, porta potties, they said it retails for about $5.50, and that hasn't changed in decades. And this guy, Ray Luden, quote, "At the end of the day, it's a 4-foot square box," the toilet salesman says. And guess what? People shit in it. I love it. It's just my favorite thing. It's just like no matter how luxe, no matter how nice, or it's just like you're going in there to take a shit.
Yep.
Or a piss, but mostly shit.
Yeah. Monkey, do you want to plug your Instagram or anything of
Where
that
can we
sort?
find you?
Well, yeah, I'm on Facebook, Adam Evil Hate Monkey Crandall. Instagram is Evil Hate Monkey. In the city, I'm at Slipper Room a lot, at the Box a lot, and then other little places here and there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you on TV soon too.
Potentially, yeah. We'll see. I think I made some good television.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted on the Instagram page if and when that happens.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Monkey, for stopping by our
Absolutely.
Poop Pad. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen. Please rate and review us. That helps a lot. Also, you can email us to our dumping ground at stspod2@gmail. That's STS as in shooting the shit pod and 2, the number 2. If you have any stories, products you want us to review, anything you think that could help us with our podcast. Also,
follow us on Instagram. We are at STS Podcast 2 on Instagram. Shooting the Shit Podcast, the number 2. Theme song for Shooting the Shit was produced by Jordan Perlson, the amazing, talented man behind the funniest, most catchiest song you've ever heard.
I love it.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?